Okay, thank you. So it's the time now to start the session. Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome all the participants to the International IIARP and Glevento Conference, which is organized by International Institute of Academic Research and Publication, IIARP. I'm Dr. Shakir from IIRP, the coordinator for this conference, and I hope that all the participants already got the program schedule and all other instructions for this online session. And it is to be noted that each presentation will have 10 minutes, extra 5 minutes for question and answers. And after the completion of all the presentations, we will have question and answer session, Q&A, and you can ask questions from the participants or provide your suggestions, or if you have any other comments or questions regarding other things related to the conference. And I want to mention that those who already sent their presentations in recording form, they do not need to play it here live. We will upload it to our YouTube channel, and the link will be shared later in the chat box. And those who are really needed by their institutes to have presentation here, they can come to the Zoom and play their video or present their PPTs here. I welcome Professor Mike from Yangon University, who will lead the session, is a session chair, and he will have the role to assess every live presentation. And based on that assessment, we will provide excellent paper presentation awards in the form of certificates. The assessment criteria is quite simple, which include best contents from the paper, presentation skills, time management skills. You need to complete your PPT within 10 minutes. And how can you attract other participants? And at the end, in the Q&A session, you provide suggestions for improvements in other participants' papers or presentations. Okay, so after the session, we will have Q&A session. You can keep your questions or suggestions noted, and then you can ask it in the Q&A session. So I hope that you will enjoy the session, and we need to start it. But before that, I think it's quite necessary to introduce you with IIARP. And for this purpose, I will share my screen. It's here. Is it visible to everyone? Can you see my screen? I hope it's visible. So this is International Institute of Academic Research and Publication, IIARP. It is a dynamic conglomeration of academia and professionals, which is dedicated to promote research and innovation and making a significant global impact. Our primary objective is to unite researchers, scholars, and professionals from around the world fostering an intellectual development and facilitating opportunities for networking and collaboration. Uh, IIARP is actively engaged in various academic activities, including networking events, meetings, conferences, workshops, research projects. Additionally, we are committed to publishing cutting-edge research publication and recognizing outstanding achievements through academic awards and scholarships. These are some of our associates include Glovento, Conference LS 360, and manuscript edited by IIARP. So what basically we do uh, while evaluating an innovation, we connect researcher globally uh, with other researchers and scholars and industry experts, which mean we are promoting world-class networking. We are involved in national and international conferences and provide opportunities in terms of publication and other academic events. Yes, these are some of the basic things IIARP is involved in. Uh, IIARP is a well-known organization which is dedicated to uh, fostering a global scientific and academic collaboration with a rich history of organizing international and national conferences. IIARP has made significant contribution to various fields of studies. Our extensive network spans across numerous countries and the capital cities around the world, including but not limited to Bangladesh, Egypt, India, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, and many more countries around the world. So here are publication opportunities for the participants, which include your abstracts will be published in Conference Abstract Proceedings book with the DOI number. And you can also choose to publish your manuscript in international peer-reviewed journal indexed in Google Scholar, Dodge, and many other index databases. You can also choose to publish your paper in Scopus and Web of Science index journal. For these things, for Scopus and Web of Science, later I will share our contact number, the publication team contact number and email. You can contact and we will provide you the guidelines how to prepare your manuscript and submit it in proper way. We also provide a publication full package support, which include editing and manuscript editing and evaluation, peer review, and many other things, which make manuscript able to be published easily in good journals. Yeah. Yeah, so these are some other things you need to keep in mind if you're submitting your manuscript for Scopus or international peer-reviewed journals. And you need to keep in mind that your manuscript need to be original, not plagiarized. And there should be at least one author that is a qualified researcher, which means he or she has a PhD degree. And you need to pay attention to the language of the manuscript. It need to be in English, a good English language, and you need to follow ethical guidelines needed by many journals, so we can provide that support how to include the ethical guidelines in your manuscript. Later, I will share all the things related to the support um, from our publication team. So all these things need to be provided, including a data set which is associated with every manuscript. If it is, for example, a qualitative research, you need to provide the interview guide and other things. Or if it is a quantitative research, you need to provide the SPSS file or the questionnaire or other things. Quite important for some journals, not for all journals, but for some journals. These are some of the examples we published for conference participants in different journals, Scopus Q1, including Web of Science, and many other journals. These are some of the examples. These are some of the glimpses from our previous conferences, online conferences as well. And you can visit our website www.iiarp.org to explore more. I need to mention in that we will send the soft copies of the abstract proceedings and the certificates. That's it's a tip to be environmental friendly, and we need to do this for the sake of environment. Yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. Thank you so much. That's all from my side. And now I will invite our session chair to have the opening remarks and please start the session. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So before we start, I should say welcome to all of you for the conference of IIARP. So today we're gonna just start from the presentations, but before we start, I have to give you some instructions. So I will say the paper ID, sorry, the last 3 digits. So when I say you have to share your screen and begin. So thank you very much again. And I will say thank you to all of you for your precious time to be here with us. So I think we can begin. Yeah. What do you think, sir? Dr.
Yes,
Shakir.
please proceed, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so now the first paper ID is 046. A survey cruise passengers' attitudes and behavior towards general waste management. The other is Chian Chi Lin. If you're there, please share your screen and proceed. The paper ID is 046.
Wait, let me check this paper.
Thank you, sir.
Let me check. Please wait for a while. Okay, so the paper ID is 046 to be
Yes, sir.
presented by Chen Chilin. I think it's a video presentation, so please proceed to the next one.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the second paper is 051. 051. The title is Should You Dress Up Your Service Robot? The role of clothing on hotel image.
Perception and
Okay.
enjoyable in yeah. I
I'm here.
think
Yes.
this
Can you
is
hear me?
available. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me share my screen.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Let me find. Is it? Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Hello?
it's visible. Please proceed.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the time. And let me introduce myself. My name is Raden Agung Bimasta. You can call me Bimo. I'm the co-author of this paper, which entitled of Should You Dress Up Service Robot, the Role of Clothing in the Hospitality Service. Okay, so let me go straight. Okay, so as you can see here, service robot has become important and more important, especially in Europe, I think. And it is important that we know how we can implement the robot effectively, because a careless implementation can lead to customer frustrations and network a negative word of mouth. And it has been seen in one of the most famous hotel called Hena Hotels. So it is important. For the last 3 years, we have seen that there is a lot of research talking about robot. However, there are still many unanswered questions regarding, for example, like how we can further optimize the benefit of service robots. So one way is how should we dress up the robots? Because it's really interesting because so many robots in the world, but yeah, most of the firms robots still aren't clothes. So it's important what is the roles of the clothes itself. Okay. So if we look at the prior research, prior study has been discovered the importance of clothing for the human frontline service employee. And it also found that in the context of employee attire influence customer perception of corporate identity and customer quality. But it raised one question, whether this impact will be the same for the service robot context. So this is one of the motivation of the study. And actually, few SCI researchers have been recently started exploring robot clothing, but most of this research is basically in conceptual. So there is just one or two few empirical research that has been doing so far. So we try in this research, we try to see in a specific way. We are trying to see how does different type of clothing, which is formal or informal, to different type of service robot, which is humanoid or non-humanoid. Does this impact perceived anthropomorphism, hotel image perceptions, and enjoyable interactions? And to what extent perceived anthropomorphism, perceived warmth, and competence will mediate the relationship between clothing service robot and hotel image perceptions, and as well as enjoyable perceptions. Okay. And the contribution of our study is, this is the first study that actually studying the impact of putting the clothes, formal and casual, on different service robot embodiment, which is humanoid and non-humanoid, on hotel image perception and enjoyable interactions. Okay. So as you can see here in the screens, this is the theoretical model. So you can see here, there is an embodiment and clothing style and how this impact on perceived anthropomorphism, warm competence, hotel image perception, and enjoyable interactions. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the robot that we can use for the scenario. So as you can see on the left, this is non-humanoid robots. We use it from the real robot. This is called Tammy. And on the right side, there's a humanoid robot called Pepper. And the right side, you can see here, this is the attire that we use as a manipulation. So we use these clothes as a gender to eliminate the gender bias effect. So as you can see here, we use the experimental models, research design. So 3.2, 3 times 2. So there is a 6 conditions. You can see here, no clothes and humanoid, formal and humanoid, informal casual humanoid, non-humanoid clothes, non-humanoid formal, non-humanoid informal. And the participants will get the vignette called on the right side. You can see here. Imagine that you are currently on vacation, you are staying on hotel. When you walk in the lobby, you find a robot named blah, blah, blah. As you can show in the picture, you also notice the robot is dressed up or doesn't dress up. You approach and you check in and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And before we really do our main study, we're doing the pre-test to 270 Amazon Mechanical Turk participants to make sure that our manipulation is success. And we can see here that all participants perceive and the scenario as realistic, and our manipulation also successful, and people perceive significant difference between those two type of attire. Okay. So it means that people can know that which is a casual attire or a formal attire. And all of the instrument that we use is basically we adapt from previous study, which is hotel image perception from Akbaba. Perceived warmth is from Liu and Chang and Kim. Perceived competent is also from Liu and Chang and Kim. Perceived anthropomorphism is coming from Choi. We use data analysis using SPSS for validity and reliability, ANOVA, and process models. And sample is 402 and 337 included in the main experiment. The result is there is a significant difference between various embodiment clothing style on the hotel image perceptions. It means that robot wearing clothes can significantly enhance perceived anthropomorphism non-humanoid robot become comparable in terms of perceived anthropomorphism compared to clothed humanoid robot, even significantly more human than unclothed humanoid robots. And another result that we found that there is no significant difference on various embodiment and clothing on hotel image perceptions, as well on this one is enjoyable interactions and hotel image perception. We also doesn't find the difference. And also we don't see the difference between on the perceived warmth and perceived competence. Okay. We see there is mediations, not full mediations, but in some way it's have a mediations. Okay, for in hotel image perception as well on enjoyable interaction. So we don't see really like full mediation on this. Okay, the conclusions. I think it's very interesting that our research showed that adding clothes actually can effectively increase perceived anthropomorphism to both humanoid and non-human robot, and especially for non-humanoid robots. Okay, but adding clothes has no further effect on warmth and competence, enjoyable interactions, and hotel image perception. And I think this is a very good how you call it like very good findings. And it is because perceived anthropomorphism is really important in the context of robotics, but we don't really find the further effect. So the question is warrant of further research. One way is because one thing that we can find the plausible explanation is because maybe we lack of context, okay? Because formal, informal, and so on, because we don't put like specific context in the hotel itself. So maybe if the hotel is luxury, maybe it will be give more good result, like good specific result on the research itself. Another limitation is that scenario-based survey, this on this scenario-based survey, and we only looking at the consumer perspective, not like employee perspective or the hotel owner's perspective. And if we look at the clothes, we only say it's informal or formal, so we cannot like see like more spectrum on it. And the robot only we choose paper and time, and some scenarios we only talking about the check-in experience. So I think further research, we can do like more in field experiments and explore other important construct like in approach and avoidance. We can see more employees' perspective, and we can put different clothes. Okay, so maybe sticker is also form of clothes in the context of the robot itself. And we can vary the level informal or formal clothes, uniforms, and we can see whether it's the context fit. Okay, so when the clothes and the job fit, it will be more have an impact on the robot perception, customer perceptions, and yeah, consider the brand personality. I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Well, really appreciate your findings, and it was quite interesting and knowledgeable about the clothing of formal, informal clothing of robots and its impacts on the customer. But it's time to move to the next presenters. The next presenter paper ID is 052.
Okay,
052.
I think that's still me.
Okay, that's still you. So you want to present?
Okay,
Or-
let me find my another PPT first, okay?
Okay, sure. Please
Okay.
share the screen and begin.
Okay. Okay, let me share it. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, it's visible. Please proceed.
Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. So yeah, bear with me. This is my second presentation. So this is my second presentations with also with my co-author Budi Suprapto, PhD. The title name is Leave Me Alone: Consumer Switching Intention to Smart Hotel with push-pull mooring theory. Okay. So as you can see, I think in the context of the hotel, there is more and more of hotel that which is like try to switching on more smart with smart facilities. Okay, and it is really interesting because, for example, like the one that I just presented before, we talking about the like robotic hotel and so on. In the futures, there will be like more and more in smart hotel, and it's very interesting, or at least very important to see what are the factors that influence consumer switching intentions in choosing smart hotel service and accommodations. Okay, and how do this factor consumer switching intention? What's switching intention and how it's different than use intentions? Switching consider total abandonment of the current behavior, which is I will never go to non-smart hotel ever again. So it means that for traditional hotels, the implication is it might be losing customer loyalty and revenue for the smart hotels. Okay. And if we see at some context, there is like very famous smart hotel called Flyzoo by Alibaba in Guangzhou, China. We underlie the ideas of having less or human. Here, smart hotel, we try to underlie the idea of having less or new human interactions during stay or our participants. And how our study different than prior study, unlike prior study, which is focused on performance or attractiveness of smart hotel, we focus really see on the switching intentions. Okay, you can see here, this is the example of Flyzoo Hotel. So you can see here, like everyone like checking, and then if they go to the restaurants and like going everything, so there is like less interaction of the human involved. Okay, and this research we base on push-pull mooring theory by Bansal, Taylor, and James, 2005. This is a theory that actually originally explained how birds migrate from one place to another place. And this PPM application actually quite famous in the context of in the field of hospitality and tourism. In many marketing area like service, smartphone brands, contractual service, mobile payment, ERP system, airlines, hotel, and so on. So you can see here, in general, switching intentions can be affected by push effect, which is factors that motivate people to leave an origins, and more pull effect is related to the factors that push people to the alternative, and mooring effect is factor might hinder or promote switching intentions. Okay, and this is my theoretical models. So you can see here, push factors is based on excessive service, low service employee, and poor dog. And pull factors consists of personalization, control, and impact environments. Mooring factor is consists of need for human interaction and computer self-efficacy. Okay, you can see here. And if you ask, someone asks how I can like choose what kind of construct that for each of the factors. We actually doing exploration phase in Amazon Mechanical Turks, which the goal is identify relevant push-pull mooring factor. So based on this exploratory phase, we actually choose our constructs. And data collections we also do in Amazon Mechanical Turk with $1 compensation for each of the participants. We received 232 US samples, but we only include 181 US samples because we do some data cleaning like straight line answer, suspicious pattern answer, and inconsistent answer on the reverse code questions. These 181 samples, we try to analyze in Smart PLS using two-step approach and measurement model and structural model, including construct validity, reliability, discriminant validity, and structural model. Actually, we still trying to do some another data collection for future study. Okay, so you can hear there is a complete definition, item samples, and with including the source and the number of the questions. All of the construct is reflective and actually coming from adapted from different study. I think I will not say. And in the measurement model, we can see here everything is okay. So there is no problem. So we can say there's a reliability and validity is okay. Discriminant validity, we can see here it's also okay. Whether it's using the HTMD and Cornell lacquer. So we can say that our model is past the measurement models. And if we zoom here, this is the result based on the structural model. You can see here there is excessive service can make consumer to switch intention to smart hotels. Personalizations can also pull people to go to smart hotel. Better control and untagged environments, which is like less environment with the human employee. This is also make people to switching intention to the smart hotel. And you can see here the mooring factor need for human interactions have moderation effect to the untracked environments, the negative effect. So it means that people that have the higher need for human interactions, the relationship between the untagged environment and switching intention is weaker. Okay. Managerially, non-smart hotels should carefully manage their service level, not too low, but also not too excessive if they want to retain their customer in the futures. For smart hotel owner and manager, it's also important to design and market the untagged environment control and personalizations. Theoretically, we are the first to investigate its switching intentions in the context of smart hotels. And especially also we are the first to employ the BPM in the context of the smart hotel, providing more comprehensive research model compared to the previous study. In summary, using the BPM framework, we identify several important factors: excessive service, untagged environment control, personalization, and need for human interactions. Some limitations that we found, we only use US samples, and maybe we only include like 8 different constructs. So there might be other relevant construct. I forgot. So the R square of our model is 69%. Okay. I forgot. This is 69%. 69%. So it means that there is a room 31% it's not explained by the current models. And you can say we only focus on the smart hotel, which is less to no human interactions. And our research is looking using the PLS, which is the PLSM, which is more symmetric approach. Maybe the future research can use more asymmetric approach like FSQCA. And another feature research that I think is also interesting is that maybe we can use another methods like discrete choice analysis. I think that's all. I welcome for any discussion and future collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your technological contribution of this research. Now it's time to move to the next presenter, whose paper ID is 537. 537.
Okay, it's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please share your screen and begin.
Okay, I pre-recorded it, so okay.
Near-term fates of human and artificial events, navigating the evolving landscape of LLM-driven agents. My name is David Ramamoto. I am an assistant professor at the Innovative Predictor University in Japan. I am passionate about learning and how machines can learn and be intelligently useful. I have over 25 years of research and teaching experience in information literacy, problem solving, intelligent systems, and artificial intelligence in academic institutions. I grew up in Antananarivo, Madagascar. I studied and worked in France for 10 years and I've lived and worked in Japan for 30 years. I still live and work in Japan. I am a avid hiker and a lifelong learner. My research area and teaching areas: information literacy, programming, mathematics, basic and artificial intelligence, agents, data science, machine learning. I am also foreign student advisor. The abstract of my talk today is in this slide. I will talk about identity and the intertwined relationship, the current limitations of artificial intelligence, need responsible development, and future synergistic partnership. The content of my talk is in this slide. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that's increasingly relevant as we move further into the age of artificial intelligence. The intertwined fates of humans and artificial agents. Before we dive into the complexities of that relationship, it's crucial to understand the foundational concept. Agency. What this slide is about. First, we see that agency is defined as the fundamental ability of a system to interact with its environment. This is the bedrock of any system, whether human or AI, that can act and influence the world around it. It's the starting point for our discussion about we interact with and design these agents. Second, understanding agency is critical to building truly intelligent adaptive AI. As we explore the intertwined fates of human and agents, AI agents, we need to recognize that the level of intelligence and adaptability is directly tied to how we understand and implement agency within these systems. Third, exploring agency help us design AI that can be autonomous and make decisions. This is especially important when we consider the potential for AI to become more independent and collaborative partners with humans. Fourth, modeling agency is key to creating AI agents that can interact effectively with the world. This interaction, whether it's through language, physical action, or digital interface, is essential for the seamless integration of AI into our lives around the world. Finally, a deep understanding of agency is fundamental to creating useful and impactful AI. Ultimately, the success of our intertwined fates with AI hinge our ability to create systems that are not only intelligent but also beneficial and aligned with human's value. Now that we have set the stage by understanding the importance of agency in AI, let's dive deeper into what agency actually means. This slide breaks down the core concept and contrasts human agency that often artificial agents powered by large language models. We define an agency as the ability to act, influence, and create change. It's about being a dynamic force rather than a passive force. This definition applies to both humans and AI agents. But the way you achieve this force is where the difference lies. We look at human agency as a complex phenomenon involving awareness, intentionality, and the rich interplay of cognitive, emotional, and social factors. It is rooted in our sense of self, of our motivations, and our understanding of social and ethical norms. Think about a student taking the initiative to study. That is human agency in action. When we consider artificial agents, specifically the LLM-based ones, these agents can perceive their environment through data, process information, and using sophisticated algorithms, and make decisions based on predefined goals or learned patterns. They can even demonstrate autonomy and generate novel situations within these specific domains. For example, an AI travel planner that suggests itineraries based on preferences and demonstrating artificial agency. However, it's crucial to note that while both humans and AI exhibit agency, there are fundamental differences. Human agency is deeply tied to our consciousness and lived experiences, while AI agency is rooted in algorithms and data. Understanding these differences is a key as we explore the interface of discuss later. So,
Sorry for interruption.
understanding
You have
of
3 more
emergency,
minutes, so
let's
please
look at a couple of
conclude
concrete
it. Thank
examples
you.
from travel industry. This example illustrates how humans exercise agency in a professional context, and they provide a helpful contrast to the artificial agents we will discuss later.
How much time do you give to me?
We have a travel agent, a human travel agent
3 more
actively
minutes.
initiates
Thank you.
the planning process.
So, I will go fast with my live talk now. Okay, so my point with this talk is just to define the agency. What is an agent, human agent, and what is LLM agent? And in LLM agents, we have this control logic and reasoning, tool use and action, and memory and reflection. And human agents are driven by internationality and emotion and complex understanding of social ethical norms shaped over evolutionary time by natural selection-based preferences for survival, reproduction, and social cohesion. Artificial agents are based on algorithms and data. So you need to collaborate with AI agents to enhance our skill and to design the system to help us rather than to destroy us. That is the point and key to my talk today. And those are the reference I used to with this slide. You can go further if you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you very much
Thank
for the
you.
presentations. Okay, so we should move to the next paper ID. The next paper ID is 537. Okay. No, sorry. 503. Bibliometric analysis of integration.
Right. Thank you so much. Do you hear my voice?
Yeah, we can hear your voice. Please share your screen and begin.
Thank you. Wait, eh?
It's on the right bottom corner.
Sorry, I understand. I have to find the screen.
Yeah, the right bottom corner. Down, down. Right. A little bit right.
Right.
Yeah, the right bottom.
It's beside the plus and minus the zoom functions.
Actually, I want to
You want to
find-
enlarge it,
yes.
maximize. So it's here, the right bottom. To the right side. Or you can proceed like this, no problem. Yeah.
Because I didn't see my slide. Where is the slideshow?
It's not visible now. Yeah, it's visible now, but
Do you see my slide?
yeah, I
All right.
think you can proceed.
All right, thank you. Can I proceed now?
Yeah, please.
All right, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum to the Muslims, all Muslims, and good morning to all the participants. Okay, I'm Mahfuzah binti Zubir. Today I would like to share, I'm from IIUM, International Islamic University, Malaysia. Today I would like to share about my paper, which is the title is Bibliometric Analysis of Integration Islamic Economics and Technologies in Malaysia. So the outline of the paper would be introduction, research objective, research methodology, findings, and conclusion. So advancement in technology have created new opportunities for Islamic economics. Therefore, the integration of Islamic economics and technology is multifaceted relationship that combines ethical principles with modern advancement to develop a balanced and innovative economic systems. And the study benefits wide range of stakeholders, including scholar, policymaker, educator, and governments officers. So the study aims to explore the thematic evolution of research in Islamic economics, highlighting the role of sustainable development, financial inclusion, and policy frameworks. So the objective of this paper to explore the most frequently studied topics linking technology and Islamic economics. Secondly, to analyze how technological advancement are influencing Islamic economic system. And the third one, to assess the relationship between technological tools and core Islamic economic principles. The methodology that I use is a voice viewer from the Scopus. I try to find the keywords, which is the primary terms is Islamic economics, Islamic finance, Sharia compliant, halal economic, Islamic banking, zakat, sukuk, takaful, wakaf, awqaf, sedekah, crowdfunding, and many more. And then the secondary terms, technology, artificial intelligence, AI, blockchain, fintech, Internet of Things, big data, smart contract, and digital transformation. And then I try to integrate the both terms, which I use the words integration, adoption, application, implementation, convergence, and synergy. So what we found that I try to find the paper from 2010 to 2024, but only I found the documents in 2011 to 2025. Actually, I try to find until 2025, okay? But no document on 2025, only on 2024. Okay, we can see that the red line show the zero growth, which is 0%. The highest in 2018, which is 1,500%. And 2023, we can see here 170%. Indicate a sharp increases in publication activity during those years. So negative growth here in 2017 and 2019 and also 2022 highlight periods of decline. So this graphic identify the trends and notable fluctuation. All right. Okay, the next finding, we found that Islamic banking is the highest mention in Malaysia, which is around 5 mentions. Fintech around 4 mentions, Islamic banking 3 mentions, and the rest challenges, zakat, digital, mobile banking, blockchain, innovation, COVID-19, and UTAUD only 2 mentions. So we found that the highest themes, is red color, which is Islamic fintech and financial services. And the second one is a green color, Islamic banking and digital transformation, around 232. And transformation, blue color, which is show that web services and information technology. The white here, the yellow here, show the Islamic banking, digital finance, and user adoption. And the purple color integrate the user-centric system in Islamic banking. So based on the finding of VOS viewer, we found that co-occurrence of network, the red cluster is the highest number of items focused on Islamic fintech and its integration into financial services and the challenge it faces. So this cluster highlight the evolution of financial management and banking services with the Islamic finance sector. And the green color cluster represent Islamic banking and digital transformation. It explores topics such as expansion of Islamic banking, internet banking, governance, financial institution, such as a research focus on policy frameworks and banking stability in Islamic finance. So the blue color cluster center on web services and information technology, reflecting the technology infrastructure and support Islamic finance and banking. So the topic is in this cluster, such as web services and online systems, emphasize the role of IT in modernized Islamic banking. So I want to highlight the co-occurrence network of keywords, which is I found that only zakat have a link with blockchain technology, fintech, and blockchain. Okay, so the cluster demonstrate a strong ties between technology and economic indicators, emphasizing how digital innovation contribute to financial inclusion. The technology play a crucial role in enhancing transparency, streamlining processes, improving accessibility, data management and analysis, and strengthening the accountability. So by integrating modern technologies, zakat practices can become more efficient, transparent, and effective, aligning with Sharia principles and fostering better governance within Islamic financial systems. All right, the next that I found in co-occurrence network is a crowdfunding, which is crowdfunding is have a connection with fintech, blockchain, smart contracts, Islamic finance, and banking. So you can see here the different color represent distinct research cluster, but the presence of link, which is the edges between these terms, indicate their interrelationship and the integration of technology into the Islamic financial systems. So Islamic finance is evolving through fintech, blockchain, and smart contract, ensuring Sharia compliance and transparency. Crowdfunding in Malaysia is emerging as a halal investment alternative, so reducing the dependence on traditional banking loans. So that meanwhile, blockchain and smart contract are being explored to enable secure and transparent Islamic financial transaction. And additionally, fintech is reshaping the banking sector, pushing the financial institution to innovate while maintaining adherence to Sharia principles. All right, this is my last slide, which is the conclusion. So to address the first objective, I found that zakat is a fundamental pillar of Islamic finance. It became a dynamic area of technological advancement, significantly improving its efficiency, transparency, and impact. So this innovation align with zakat core objective of wealth distribution and social justice. And fintech and crowdfunding are making Islamic financial products more accessible, especially for unbanked and underbanked populations. And we found that ethical finance, which is blockchain and smart contract, ensure transparency and ethical finance practices and full compliance with Sharia compliance. So if you have any question, please ask after this. Okay, thank you so much for your attention. That's all for me.
Well, thank you very much for your contribution about blockchain technologies and in Islamic banking and which one the prospect of Islamic banking. Now it's time to move to the next paper. This paper ID is 511. Paper ID 511. Explore
511.
the effects of organization commitment increase organizations' citizenships behavior to innovative behavior. The paper ID is 511.
511. Are you available?
I can't see
Paper
on the
ID
screen.
511. 511 is not available. Please proceed to the next one.
Okay, the next paper ID is 512, the economic growth and poverty in sub-Saharan African countries. The paper ID is 512.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. I'm sharing the screen. Morning, everyone. Thank you so much. This is Faustin Maniraguha, and my paper is on economic growth and poverty in sub-Saharan Africa, non-linearity, and export thresholds. Actually, I'm a PhD candidate from the University of Rwanda, African Center of Excellence, Data Science, University of, sorry, excuse me. Can share it again. Can share the document again. Let me start. Are you seeing the document?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for these disruptions. I'm a PhD candidate at the African Center of Excellence in Data Science, Econometrics. Then I'm also a principal economist from the National Bank of Rwanda. Now, when we look at the abstract of this paper, actually the paper is examining whether economic growth can effectively reduce poverty in Sub-Saharan Africa through export channels. It analyzes a sample of 31 Sub-Saharan countries over the period from 2000 to 2021 using PSTR, Panel Smooth Transition Regression Model. The findings reveal an export threshold, which is 22.2%, above which GDP growth significantly impacts poverty reduction. Before reaching the export threshold, annual GDP growth has a modest positive effect on poverty. The results provide insight into the transition speed between different regimes. Such speed is presented by the level of gamma, which stands at 0.076. The study suggests this in terms of recommendation, policy implication. The study suggests that trade in export policies designed to stimulate economic growth should be prioritized to enable countries to realize job creation and employment. In recent years, economic growth and poverty have continued to pose a dilemma among policymakers and researchers. Actually, all over the world, we have been recording a good performance in economic growth. However, poverty remains high, remain constant, but at a certain extent, it continues to increase. That's the rationale for this study, and we want to see whether economic growth can reduce such poverty, and also thinking in terms of the channel. In understanding the channel through which economic growth can reduce poverty, some of views turns around trade in exports. Here for exports, we mean traditional and non-traditional, or trade in services or trade in goods. Then exports, we have a lot of channels like FDIs and so on, but trade in export is not the only channel that is I am mentioning, but we have other channels that are remittances, FDIs, education, population, and institutional framework. Those are the channels that are documented previously in different papers, but exports remain a key channels which is unassessed when you look at the Sub-Saharan African context. The Sub-Saharan African context is rich in exports, being traditional, being non-traditional. And when you look at the path in the GDP, it continues to reduce over the years. Of course, the drivers for this reduction includes the past shocks like COVID-19 and also Russia-Ukraine war. Those are the key shocks that affect growth, but still we continue to see the performance in exports. When we look at, that's the case for the global path, but when we go to the region, we see that, again, we see the same picture where exports continue to increase, at a certain extent stabilized, but the GDP growth reduced. Again, looking at the case for poverty, the poverty remains high, and when we look at the extreme poverty, it is observed in Sub-Saharan Africa, mostly in fragile and conflict-affected areas. That's the case for the poverty when we are linking it with economic performance and the export. Then the question is to know how studies that try to link Sub-Saharan African economic growth and poverty used other indicators, as I mentioned, institutional frameworks like governance, financial development, and income inequality, but exports was not used. In contrast, trade in export is fundamental for Sub-Saharan African countries that started to achieving sustainable long-run economic growth through emerging strategies like export promotion, import substitution. Additionally, studies that were conducted to reassess the nexus between economic growth and poverty alleviation, many of them concentrated on the size and the direction of the effects rather than determining the channels through which growth can alleviate poverty. Then, when we want to fill the gap, this study is trying to fill out the gap and contribute to the existing literature. Our study adopts the PSTR to measure how exports can impact poverty reduction effects of GDP growth. Subsequently, the method helps to go deeper to evaluate the non-linearities aspects differently from the previous work. Therefore, the key contribution of this article is to first determine the optimal threshold level of exports, which once reached can reduce poverty because of trade in exports growth effect. This is a set of indicators. These were collected from World Development Indicators, where for all 31 countries in Africa, they are listed, and some key indicators will include the institutional framework, like the rule of law, and this is measured in terms of the rule of law in terms of the index, which varies between -2 to 2.5 plus 2.5. Whether the index is going to positive side, it's positive, good things, it's a good things, while minus is negative. So these texts were included to explain the drivers of economic growth, but also the poverty, which is poverty head account ratio, was used. That's the theoretical model we are using to determine the panel smooth threshold regression. And here, the channel again is the exports, how exports can be used to impact economic growth so that poverty ratio can start reducing. Here, this is the findings. The findings shows that we managed to see the threshold where we have seen the non-linearity in the nexus between export GDP growth and poverty in Sub-Saharan Africa. Then the threshold level was computed, which is 22%. And this is an optimal level of exports as a share of GDP, which once achieved can start having a significant impact on poverty. The findings identify two regimes where before export threshold, annual GDP growth presents a positive effect on poverty, but after export thresholds, annual GDP growth negatively impacts the poverty level. The findings also show that from the first regime, both gross capital formation, that's the investment actually, and the rule of law, that's the institutional framework, have a positive direction with poverty, but the effect is insignificant. Furthermore, the findings showed that after a certain threshold level, export is attained, GDP growth helps to reduce poverty level by, that's the speed at 7.6% annually. Then in terms of discussions, is linked with the previous studies. And when we look
Sorry
at...
for interruption, you have 2 more minutes, so please conclude it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and your comment are welcome. Thank you. Hello?
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yes. To conclude, the study assess whether the poverty level can be reduced by economic growth through export channels, specifically for the Sub-Saharan African region. A sample of 31 countries was used, considering 2000 and 2021 as a sample periods. The result confirmed the presence of the export threshold level, which once it is achieved, GDP growth can start having a significant effect on the poverty level, and such export threshold stands at 22%. The result identified 2 regimes where before the export threshold, annual GDP growth presents a positive effect on poverty, but after the export threshold, annual GDP growth negatively impacts the poverty level. In terms of policy recommendation, trade in export policies related to boosting economic growth should be encouraged to enable countries to employ a larger population and raise their income, which means having enterprise domestic policies supporting exports, import substitution, and so on. It creates jobs, and also people may benefit from the income, wages, and so on. Sub-Saharan African countries' governments should adopt measures to eliminate trade in export barriers and invest in social infrastructure to ensure the benefits of exports are widely distributed and inclusive. Governments in the Sub-Saharan Africa region need to put in place policies that remove export barriers while investing in social infrastructure to ensure the gains from exports are inclusive. Thank you. And one of the limitation is the use of the non-use of multidimensional proxy, which is multidimensional poverty, head count ratio, but the index we are using also, it's good because it is a head count ratio and it has some advantages like simplicity and easy to interpret, and also data availability. That's the rationale for using the head count ratio as a proxy for poverty aspects. Hence, further research may also think to work with a multidimensional index, which is not used in our case. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
Well, thank you very much for your immense knowledge. Now it's time to move to the next presenter, whose paper ID is 547. 547. The Green Entrepreneur Orientation, Green Transformation, and Green Marketing.
Five, four, seven.
547.
Are you
Paper
available?
ID 547.
547. I think is not available. Please proceed to the next one.
Okay, the next paper ID is 548. Determine the driver for youth unemployment in Indonesia.
Yes, sir. We are ready.
Okay, please share
548.
your screen and begin.
548.
Right. Good afternoon. My name is Adlin, and I'm pleased to present our research alongside my colleague, Mashita. We are both the main authors of this research. Today, we'll be discussing our study on determining drivers for youth unemployment in Indonesia within 2014 to 2023. Mashita and I are both undergraduate senior students at the University of Prasetya Mulia in Indonesia. Youth unemployment remains a pressing challenge in Indonesia, influenced by various factors. Using fixed effects modeling, our research aims to analyze how regional minimum wages, adult unemployment, and regional GDP growth interact to shape the youth unemployment trends. We found out that each independent variable has significant relationship with the youth unemployment. We hope our findings can contribute to a deeper understanding of policy implications and potential solutions. Proceed to the next slide. Here, we figured from literature review that GDP is a key measure of a nation's economic performance. Indonesia, as the largest Southeast Asia country with the highest GDP, has a fast labor force. However, despite its economic growth, the youth unemployment remains a persistent challenge. In 2023, Indonesia youth unemployment rate stood at 13.94%, which is higher than the global average of 13% and the neighboring country of Malaysia, 12.55%. This issue highlights the difficulties young job seekers to face in entering the workforce. This study, however, explores three factors influencing the youth unemployment in Indonesia. They are regional minimum wage, adult unemployment, and regional GDP growth. Minimum wage policies impact youth unemployment, adult unemployment reflects labor market constraints, and lastly, GDP growth drives job creation. Our study aims to analyze the relationship between these factors and youth unemployment using the econometric model. By doing so, we hope to provide insights that can guide policies to balance job opportunities and economic equality. To better understand the factors influencing youth unemployment in Indonesia, we must first examine how regional minimum wage, adult unemployment, and regional GDP growth interact with youth unemployment trends. And then after analysis, this leads into a core research question. What is the relationship between regional minimum wage, adult unemployment, and regional GDP growth to unemployment for young workers across provinces in Indonesia? Here, we use panel data analysis covering 340 observations from 34 provinces in Indonesia over 2014 to 2023. Our dependent variables is youth unemployment rate, while the independent variables is regional minimum wage. We also include adult unemployment rate as and regional GDP growth as control variables. To ensure robustness, we conducted key econometric tests. First one is Ramsey reset test to confirm an appropriate functional form, which then we proceed log-to-log model. We conducted a Chow, Hausman, and Bruce Pagan test to determine that the fixed FX model was the best fit. After that, we created and conducted a diagnostic test to check for the multicollinearity, autocorrelation, and heterozygosity. All of these diagnostic tests and the modeling tests then helping us to ensure the reliable insights to youth unemployment trends in Indonesia. Then we proceed to fix FX model for our research. The next slide will be continued by my colleague, Abel.
Okay, so our analysis is based on, again, 340 observations across 34 provinces from 2014 to 2023. We applied a log-to-log fixed FX model, and the resulting equation is shown on the slide. First, we found that regional minimum wage has a negative and significant relationship with youth unemployment. Specifically, 1% increase in minimum wage leads to a 0.26% decrease in youth unemployment. Then in contrast, the adult unemployment rate shows a positive and significant relationship with youth unemployment. A 1% increase in adult unemployment raises youth unemployment by 0.21%. Then for regional GDP growth, shows a positive, though really weak relationship with youth unemployment. 1% increase in GRDP results in 0.023% increases in youth unemployment. But generally, the R-squared value indicates that the model explains around 37% of the variation in youth unemployment, and the p-value confirms that our whole model is statistically significant. Now, proceeding to our discussion, we begin with our main independent variable here, which is minimum wage, in which its decentralized system in Indonesia helps align wage levels with regional economic conditions. And here we found that it prevents excessive labor costs in weaker provinces, as proven by our model. Now, the large informal sector is found to have absorbed displaced workers because our data aggregate both informal and formal sectors. This mitigates the disemployment effects of minimum wage increases and maintain overall youth employment levels. For older youth, age around 20 to 24, they transition more easily into informal or alternative employment, such as gig work or migration, which actually helps buffer against minimum wage-related job losses. Moreover, economic conditions and sectoral shifts towards capital-intensive industries reduce the overall effectiveness of minimum wage increases in lowering youth unemployment, especially in sectors less reliant on labor. Therefore, minimum wage hikes have a more significant impact towards labor-intensive and informal sectors, where they can still contribute to modest improvements in youth employment by sustaining the labor quality. Next, please. The next one is one of our control variables, which is our GDP growth. And GDP growth generally reduces youth unemployment, but this thesis finds a positive relationship, suggesting that it benefits adult workers more due to their higher experience required for formal jobs. Indonesia's shift to capital-intensive industries like information, communication, and transportation also boosts GDP, but increases in youth unemployment happens because formal jobs demand higher qualifications. And then there's also a growing investment in machinery and technology, which also limits labor-intensive industries, which again, we've mentioned is more significant. And this offers fewer opportunities for young workers. Similarly, there's another data about improved internet access and technology in Indonesia, which drives automation, again, reducing reliance on manual labor. Moreover, FDI has increased significantly in capital-intensive sectors, accelerating the shift away from labor-intensive industries. This is reflected in the growing gap between employment in labor-intensive sectors and their GDP contribution, which highlights Indonesia's shift towards capital investment-driven growth. Now, let's turn to our last variable, which is adult unemployment rate. Higher unemployment rate adult unemployment increases competition for jobs, which crowds out younger, less experienced job work seekers. As more adults enter the job market, youth face fewer opportunities, especially fresh graduates with relatively limited experience. And employers often prefer more experienced adults, which further reduces the chances for younger workers. Economic downturns and structural shifts also raise adult unemployment, which signals weak labor markets and limits job creation not only for the adults but also for youth. And this actually aligns with a theory called the Okun's Law, which suggests that higher unemployment reduces economic output and job availability. And additionally, high severance costs and strict employment
Sorry
laws
for
also.
interruption. You have 3 more minutes, so please conclude it. Thank you.
All right, so to discourage hiring affecting both adults and youth. So in uncertain times, companies are reluctant to hire, which worsens unemployment for all age groups, especially young workers. Now let's move on to our conclusion to summarize our whole presentation. Again, the study offers insights into youth unemployment in Indonesia, with our model explaining around 37% of the variations. Our main findings support the efficiency wage theory, not the classical economic theory, and aligns with trends in middle-income countries, which is what Indonesia is part of, with decentralized systems. The positive correlation between adult and youth unemployment highlights structural labor market challenges where young workers struggle due to their limited experience. There's also a weak link between the GDP growth and youth unemployment, which shows that economic growth alone does not solve the issue because there's structural factors at play. Future researches should focus on longitudinal studies to track policy effects on labor shifts, explore regional differences in industrial composition or wages, or even urbanization, as well as compare regions such as Jakarta and Central Java to guide regional employment strategies. So places with different economic contributions. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for your time and attention.
Well, we really appreciate your time and your research contribution. It was really knowledgeable and interesting. So now it's time to move to the next presenter, whose paper ID is 533. Paper ID 533, Enhancing Effectiveness of. Are you
Okay, let
available?
me share screen. Yeah,
Yeah, please share your
can you see
screen.
me? Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Manisala Kamrasha. So this content total 24 pages. My name is Manisala Kamrasha. I have been working as DevOps engineer for 2 years. So I'm also interested in security. So my research will relate with security, which is DevSecOps. Here is problem statement. So software is one of the most popular and rapidly growing customer needs. From this growing, we have the new approach of software development for fast delivery to client. We call DevOps. So the widespread methodology of DevOps that make it automatically, we call CI/CD pipeline. But we are in the cyber world, so there are vulnerabilities that can cause a risk of attack in the CI/CD pipeline before delivering to client. So at the present, there are security measures that can integrate in each step of the CI/CD pipeline, such as security tool. And the limitation is resource usage defining. Because if I add many security in CI/CD pipeline, absolutely the resource usage will increase, but how much it increase, that is the goal of my research. The picture show the change from DevOps to DevSecOps in the present. And here is an adapt of DevSecOps in the CI/CD pipeline of my research. For the second one, we have pipeline, that common pipeline. We have coding and build image and deploy or deliver to client. But the second one, it is the layer secure CI/CD pipeline that I integrate the many security tool in each state of the pipeline. And layer secure CD pipeline that provides that long-term security. Yes, but the layer secure CD pipeline that I named it by myself because I add many security tool in many stages. And here is the abstract. So I will comparison between unsecure and the layer secure CI/CD pipeline. So I compare performance by evaluating the resource usage, time, memory, and CPU usage. And my research will focus on mitigating vulnerability in the build stage because I am DevOps and the build stage is the main point that have a dependency and code together. Dependency is a necessary file open source that necessary for coding. So it is the main security risk. And I will analyze the resource usage before and after vulnerability limitation in the build stage. And my research will be a guideline for resource usage of the whole layer secure pipeline that have many stages, which is integrated with many security tools. And the results show that vulnerability in build stage are reduced by 16.5 after remediation. And whether vulnerability remediating or adding security tool doesn't negatively impact on resource usage. And my research will provide insight into resource usage. Here is the purpose of my research. I will present layer secure best practice of CI/CD pipeline and provide insights into resource utilization of security measure in CI/CD pipeline. And next methodology, I preparing input data. I will prepare source code to deploy my board of pipelines. So source code will develop it with Node.js. There are 3 sizes of code, small, medium, and large. 3 source code per size. So my experiment has 9 source code to deploy with board of pipeline. And the source code has many types. All of them stored on GitHub. I have a lot of code because I want to make sure that my pipeline is flexible. And methodology, I developed a layer secure CI/CD pipeline. After I developed the pipeline that common, but the layer secure pipeline that have many security tools in each state. So the source code for the code stage I have SonarQube to source code scan standard coding, and the build state that I mainly focus on my research. I have integrated Snyk to detect and fix open source dependency automatically in the build stage. And Drivey will detect dependency, a number of dependency vulnerability before deploying. And I integrate OWASP Zap like a pen test. And here is my mainly focus that the build stage. This is the Snyk operations. Snyk is the security tool that relate with build stage. So the operation is scan dependency vulnerability. If Snyk detect vulnerability, Snyk will suggest a new version of secure dependency version. And if I click yes, Snyk will pull request on GitHub automatically, and I click merge request on GitHub. Snyk will replace the new version dependency, and I will rescan again. Here is how to configure Snyk in Jenkins workflow. I have many conditions that follow my requirement in Jenkins. So after remediating vulnerability with Snyk, Driving is used to detect the number of vulnerability again. Here is before remediating and after remediating. Driving has a friendly result that on the deploy log in Jenkins. And the main focus, the result monitoring in each stage of CI/CD pipeline. I will track result for each stage of the CD pipeline and build stage with Portainer 2. Here is the example of Portainer. And the result of my research. I will focus on the whole layer security pipeline that have many security to integrate with. I will explain the execution time. Layer secure pipeline takes about 2 times more than the unsecure pipeline. I think 2 times increasing, I think is acceptable if I consider about long-term security. And it is valuable for use resources. Here is memory usage of the whole layer secure CI/CD pipeline. The memory usage will spike during final stage of the layer secure CD pipeline, including driving stage, deployment stage, and OWASP stage. All these stages use execution used to...
Sorry for interruption. You have 3 more minutes, so please conclude it. Thank you.
Thank you. Use many memory space. And before and after vulnerability remediating, the time is still same value because the number of updated dependency is still the same value. The time is quite similar. But memory usage is tend to decrease because many dependencies are updated to new version and improve to better. But CPU usage is to increase because new version dependency are more complex and require more processing. Yes. And the vulnerability reduction in build stage, all of site code I calculate in the average. Vulnerability decreased by 16.5%. And conclusion, my research show a comparison between unsecure and the layer secure pipeline. Execution time is approximately 2 times higher than that one, and the memory usage will increase during the last stage by increasing 22%, but it helped more secure in the long term. And the build stage that mainly focused, vulnerability were reduced by 16.5, and the increasing resource usage is acceptable if I consider the long-term security. And discussion, updating dependency to mitigate vulnerability, it can lead to deploy failure because it can conflict with code. So I recommend to only fix critical high vulnerability, and communication is important because CI/CD pipeline are a combination of many teams. Here, benefit is I get a best practice of CI/CD pipeline. At integrated security at every stage for long-term security protection, and gain insight into resource usage to help DevOps engineer or infrastructure engineer to practice their organization. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Now it's time to move to the next presenter whose paper ID is 535.
Okay.
Yeah, please share your screen and begin. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my presentation. My topic is enhancing performance of intuition detection system by data imputation and dimensionality reduction. Okay, agenda today. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Kitamet Bakappanjaran. I study digital network and information security management at King Mongkut University of Technology North Bangkok, Thailand. First section is attack. IDS are essential for detecting network threat, but can suffer from missing value and high-dimensional data. The research, modifying imputation and dimensionality reduction technique. I test on T dataset and using various algorithms. And in KV Cup 99, hierarchy-based decision tree achieved 95.25% accuracy and 95.68% precision, and reduce memory usage by 37.27% with efficient execution time for NLRKD and UNSW. NB15 accuracy and precision decreased but remain acceptable, which reduce memory usage and efficient execution time. In conclusion, the hierarchy-based decision tree provides stable performance and enhancing IDS efficiency with the best technique depending on the data set and algorithm used. Okay. Section 2 is introduction. First bullet, importance of IT and cybersecurity. Access to information and work communication are crucial in holiday digital era. However, cyber threat remain a major challenge. Vulnerability in security system. Advancement in technology have introduced vulnerability make system susceptible to attack. Law of IDS. IDS are vital for identifying and notifying about cyber threat. And type of IDS, two types: one signature-based detection and two anomaly-based detection. Machine learning in IDS. Machine learning enhanced anomaly-based detection with two main types: one supervised learning and two unsupervised learning. Challenge in IDS. IDS performance is affected by missing value and high-dimensional data. Objective of this paper. This paper explores the impact of imputation and dimensionality reduction on accuracy, precision, execution time, and memory usage. Problem statement: ensuring accurate and efficient detection of network intrusion (IDS) is challenging due to issue like missing data and high-dimensional feature and increased computational demand. This problem can degrade model accuracy, slow execution time, and increase memory usage. This research proposed modifying imputation and dimensionality reduction technique to improve IDS performance. It is conceptual framework. In section methodology, dataset, I use three datasets, one KDD Cup 99 and two NSL KDD and three UNSW NB15. I use RMV algorithm. The dataset are generated which 10%, 20%, and 30% of data missing. I use data imputation with median imputation. I use dimensionality reduction. I use principal component analysis PCA. Training and test model. I use 5 algorithms. One decision tree, two random forest, and three logistic regression, 4 KNN, and 5 light GBM. I evaluating performance 3 types. 1, I evaluate with impute dataset, and 2, I evaluate with reduced dataset, and 3, I evaluate with combination of imputation and reduction datasets based on the following accuracy, precision, execution time, and memory usage. Okay. This my result. Performance evaluation of KDD Cup dataset. The result showed that in case of modifying imputation with dimensionality reduction, decision tree and random forest have the most impressive result in terms of accuracy and precision. the accuracy and precision of decision tree are 95.25% and 95.68%, while Lenovo rate is up to 95.48% and 95.91%. As shown, the decision tree can reduce memory usage from 1000 megabyte to 400 megabyte, and execution time remain efficient. On the contrary, Lenovo rate has execution time increased from 60 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds, but can reduce memory usage from 1000 megabyte to 600 megabyte. And to resolve to NSLKD dataset, the results show that modifying imputation with dimensionality reduction, decision tree has a slight effect on accuracy and precision, but the results are accessible in IDS domain, where there are around 92.99% and also 93.18%. However, substantial decrease in both execution time and memory usage consumption. And last, UNSW NB15 dataset test results shown that in case modifying imputation with dimensionality reduction, decision tree has decreased in accuracy and precision, but the results are accessible in IDS domain, where there are around 19.85% and also 91.01%. However, memory usage decreased from 1000 megabyte to 300 megabyte, and execution time remain efficient. On the contrary, Lenovo rate logistic regression, KNN and LGBM consider drop in accuracy and precision. In section discussion, decision tree provide accessible accuracy and precision. It also reduce memory usage and maintaining appropriate processing time across all datasets. And to Lenovo rate logistic regression, KNN and LGBM provide acceptable accuracy and precision, but only in KDD dataset. On the other hand, their accuracy and precision decrease in NSLKD and UNSW-NB15 datasets. Memory usage decrease across all datasets and all algorithms. Lenovo rate increase processing time significantly in all datasets. Logistic regression, KNN and LGBM reduce processing time across all datasets. And data imputation and dimensionality reduction are not suitable for datasets with high diversity or complex algorithms. Decision trees show that simple algorithms perform well with data that has been imputed and reduced to 5 or 10 dimensions without complex calculation or linear assumption. Data imputation and dimensionality reduction maintain accuracy and precision, reduce memory usage, and keep processing time efficient. This technique can improve the overall performance of IDS, but it is important to choose the right technique and algorithm based on dataset to get the best result for IDS. And conclusion, this is a modifying imputation and dimensionality reduction technique to improve IDS performance. KDD 99 perform well with algorithm. After this technique maintain high accuracy and precision. However, for more complex datasets like NSLKDD and UNSW-15, imputation and dimensionality reduction reduce performance due to the loss of crucial information. Future work should focus on applying this technique with unsupervised learning and developing models that can adapt to new attack patterns to improve IDS. Thank you for attention.
Well, thank you very much for the presentations. I think our conference is reaching to the end, and now I invite the conference coordinator, Professor Shakir, to have the
Yes,
Q&A
so
session.
this was the last one as per I see the schedule, and thank you so much. We are now open for Q&A, but before that, can we see your faces and can we take a group photo if you like? Yeah, please open your cameras. Thank you. Few more. Yes, please. Few more. If you can open your camera and we take a photo, then we will proceed to the Q&A session. Yeah, few more. I think 3, 2 more. Okay, so I'm taking a screenshot. Yes. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Yeah, so now we are open for Q&A, and in the Q&A, you can ask questions from other participants related to the presentations, not beyond the presentations. And you can also provide your comments or suggestions to other participants. That's for the presentations. Beside the PPTs, you can also ask questions related to this conference, related to the research publications, journals, and many other things which you need for your manuscripts or for your certification or other things related to this conference. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, any questions? Okay. I just saw one presentation and I just want to clarify because is an editor, is a reviewer, I need to identify some problems in papers and manuscript that's usually quite helpful for the authors to correct it. So that's the paper ID 503. And I couldn't see the method section, including the Prisma diagram. And if you can also tell us that how did you reduce the bias in that study, and how can you mention these things in order to make your manuscript more polished for submitting it to Scopus Index Journal, because they will need to identify these things. Yeah, there are 2 raised hands, so we will come back to you. Can you please reply to this question? 503, Mahfouza.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. You're asking about the methodology and
Yeah.
also the what else? The graph, something like that.
Prisma. That's procedure, how you select the articles and you exclude and include the articles. All these things are included in the Prisma diagram.
Okay, I understand. Okay, actually, I only include in my paper the keywords, right? So after this, I will add on in my paper, the journal paper, the conference paper, which is I can add on the how the steps from the beginning. All right. So can I amend my paper after this?
Yeah, you can share your PPT or paper, and if you have this Prisma, or if you can just tell us that whether you used Prisma for selecting or excluding the articles or not. That's what I'm asking. The importance of this question is that the journal, if you want to submit it to a journal, they must ask you this thing.
Okay. The first thing that I use a voice viewer. Okay. I try to find the year firstly. Okay, and then I try to put the keywords. Maybe I can add on the first in the corresponding, in the Scopus we have to we have a blank a space to put the to put the keywords, right? So I can include in my paper after this. Firstly, the keywords, and then I follow with the second keywords and third. That's all. And then okay. And then I try to clean the paper based on the related the related journal that I find.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think you were maybe not quite clear how to write a review paper, and that's normal because sometimes we don't know some things in the methodology, so we need to know, and you can include these things in your methodology section, and I hope that it will become a very good manuscript to be submitted to a good journal. Thank you so much. Yeah, so now we are coming to the other participants, and maybe the first one is 512. You have raised hand. Can you please ask your questions or if any suggestions, comments?
Thank you, Professor, and morning to everyone. Here in Rwanda, Kigali, we are in the morning, early morning. And now, thank you for organizing such a conference. And I learned a lot, like unemployment in Indonesia, I follow, because I'm part of a macroeconomic field. Then my comments or question is to know how, as organizers, how do you think are you going to support the research publication process? I would like also to hear from you. Of course, sometimes the journals took so long. It takes 1 year. There's some journals, they may even take 2 years. I've faced such experience. And I would like to hear really the kind of support you may give us if possible. And again, second question, suggestion is the certification you mentioned. When do you think to provide the certification? Actually, those are two main questions. The timing, what do you think in terms of timing if we manage to improve our manuscripts and we submit them to you and you support the process? You may also try to elaborate something about that, because me, it's my first time to attend this conference. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the questions and inquiring about clarification for this question. I think you may know that there are different kind of journals, starting from Google Scholar, Douge, and then Scopus, and then Web of Science, and then Impact Factor Journal, IF Journal. So there are different journals, and the different journals also require different time span to be submitted and then peer review and then revise. Of course, some journals need more time, some journals just review it very quickly and then accept it and then publish it, such as open access journals. So there are different journals. It depends which category journal you want to choose for your manuscript. That's one thing you need to keep in mind. If you want to publish it in an international peer-reviewed journal such as Google Scholar or Doubt, that of course will need a little less time, such as 2-3 months, and then you can get your publication done. If you want to submit it to Scopus journals Q3 or quartile 3 or 4, it may need 5 to 6 months. Or if you even want to go further to submit it to Impact Factor Journal, we also have that service. It may need over a year or something like that. It depends on which category you want to choose for your manuscript. So you can tell us later. I will provide the contact information of our publication team, and you can tell us what you want to do with your manuscript. Okay, so that's the first question. And the second question, I think, is related to certification. And after this session, after the session, we will send the certificate in the soft form, and including with the abstract proceeding book. You can check it in your email, which you provided us in your manuscript. So they will be sent after the session, and not delayed, like for 3-4 days or something like that. That will not be a big issue for us here. Okay, I hope I answered to you the questions you asked, and now I'm coming toward the second participant, 052. I think you also want to ask something. Yes, please proceed.
Okay, is it me? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. First for the conference organizer, you, and some questions to the other participants. Not questions, maybe just suggestions for improvement. For you, I think I need to be more clear about the deadline about the full papers. Is it like more flexible, or is it there is a like specific deadline that we met? If we don't met it, and then we cannot submit the full paper, or what? And the second thing is that can we know, like, usually when we make a paper, we basically try to find the suitable journal, right? That which is like to the paper. So is it like we submit first, and then you find the suitable one that we met our paper, or can we have the list of the journal that you might be we can choose from there, so we can maybe like fitting our paper to that journal in the first? Because now it's like I'm blank, because every journal have their own criteria, right? Like how lengthy is the paper, and then how we can, like, for example, like how you call it, like formatting the reference and everything. That's my questions to you. I have another questions to another participants.
Okay,
I think
so please,
yes, okay.
just wait for me. I
Okay.
reply to your question, then you can participate.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's quite simple. We are quite flexible, I think, in terms of deadline. You can submit your paper after this conference within 15 to 20 days. I think after, if you prolong it too much, that's not good. And that's quite enough time. I think 15 to 20 days, you can do it. And regarding the journals, as you submit your paper through our email, our publication team will send you some options, and you can choose from those options, because most of our journals are OA, open access journals with the APC. So you can choose from those journals, and then inform our team, and they will proceed with the manuscript, and they will also tell you some of the basic changes in your manuscript. If you want to do it through our manuscript edit services, they can also provide that service as well. If you want to do it by yourself, they will send you the comments inside the manuscript. You can just revise it in a while and resubmit it to our team, and our team will proceed with your manuscript to the submission process.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you answer your question, and now please you can proceed to the other question.
Okay. Wait, actually, I also have a question and suggestion for Mahfuza 503. Yeah, because First time, yeah, I actually agree that Prisma it will be might be very helpful for writing paper, especially like review paper. However, when I see your PPT, like I have like very big questions because I don't see your I see there is a lot of keywords, but I don't see the operators. Like, do you use and or what? Like how you combine all of these keywords? It's quite confusing. And I see that I see you are using bibliometrics, right? So bibliometric it should be like more like broad research area. So if I see that you are using that too much keywords, it seems that you already see what you want to write in hand before. Because you see like there is a zakat and then there is a financial service and so on. It seems that everything will be shown only on the first viewer because you already specify the keyword. See? So your research try want to see all the keyword within the research, but you basically already specify a lot of keyword inside it. So I think it kind of contradictory with your aim of the study. So maybe it will be more, I don't know, like fit if you want to write like systematic literature review compared to like bibliometric analysis. Yeah, I think it's worth to try. Maybe you can like try to explore whether like making less of the keyword will work for you. And another thing is that yeah, maybe you want to make more complicated with your research if you want to like maybe aim for a higher quality journal. Maybe you can combine with the systematic literature review. So it's one of the popular way that you can use the TCCM, TCCM framework by Professor Paul. So it's basically a try to combine what is the theory that usually used, what is the context, what is the characteristic, and what is the methods that people usually do in the field for maybe last 20 years. I don't know. I think yeah, I think that's my suggestions and questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your suggestion and advice. Perhaps I will do after this. This is my first time conference because I am a postgraduate student. So I really appreciate your advice, your comment and all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think these are quite important things you need to incorporate in your manuscript, such as Boolean operators are quite important for a review study. And if you incorporate these comments, these suggestions, your manuscript will, of course, receive a good review, positive review, and it may be proceeded in a good journal. Yeah, very good. Okay, there is another raised hand. 515, 512. You have a question?
Thank you. Sorry for again coming back. I joined the rate, but I would like to hear some idea or some comments on the paper 544. I don't know whether it was presented. That's fiscal resilience in a crisis, pre and post, considering the period for 2018 and 2022. Actually, when it comes to fiscal, I have in mind how also the monetary has to react. Monetary policy, that's the central bank. The fiscal, that is the actions or policies for the government, the Minister of Finance and Planning. But for the monetary side, assume in the shock, the crisis, I think the author wants to refer is the COVID-19. That's what I'm thinking in mind. I didn't see the PPT, but I'd like to hear how the fiscal become resilient while the central bank many central banks were under the tightening monetary policy. Some central bank over the period were increasing the central bank rate to fight against the inflation, while the fiscal side was also spending. You see the social safety nets during the COVID period and so on. How the Indonesia, this country has managed to balance these two policies. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your valuable comments and suggestions and questions. I think this PPT is not presented live on Zoom, but as you can see, this conference is being recorded on YouTube channel, and I hope that the presenter or the author may see all of your comments and questions, and he or she can incorporate these comments in his her manuscript. That will be quite valuable to his or her manuscript. It's quite important, I think. So because many of the participants they send their PPTs in recording form, and we then upload it to our YouTube channel. But the live Zoom conference is also recorded on the YouTube channel, so other participants, including you all, can later come to see, or if you want to share it with your colleagues or your schools or other friends, I will share the link, yeah, in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, there is another raise hand by Wani Sarah 533.
Yeah, thank you. I want to make sure that after this session, you will provide a service to editing my manuscript, right? Because my manuscript will want to publish in Scopus quartile 4. So you will to provide a service to make
Thank you
my
so much. Yes, for sure. We have manuscript editing service, and later I will share our contact, including the WhatsApp number. I hope that many of you are using WhatsApp, so you can add that WhatsApp number, and I will add you to our groups, including the upcoming opportunities such as scholarships, academic events, workshops, and many things. You will will get updates from that number, and I will also send you the email, and you can be in touch with our team, publication team, including the manuscript edit service team. Yeah, you don't worry about that. We provide that service.
Okay, when?
After this conference, you can contact the number I'm providing, the WhatsApp number, and they will be in touch with you how to proceed with your manuscript.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
don't worry.
you.
Okay, any other question? I think that's all. And yeah, I hope that the today's participants enjoyed this session. It was really a great experience with all of you, indeed. Thank you so much for participating in this conference. All the presenters, is per I saw, were having very good research ideas and had put their efforts for the best. All the papers, as I saw, the data was supported by robust methodologies and theoretical frameworks, achievable objectives. But as we discussed, some of the papers still every manuscript in the initial form need improvements, and we need to work on on our manuscripts to be improved and submitted and processed in a good journal. Yes, so you can send your manuscript after the session from 15 to 20 days. Within 15 to 20 days, and we will proceed with your manuscript to different categories journals. And as I said, some of the participants were not able to join this session and they sent their video PPTs to, and we have uploaded, or some of the PPTs will be uploaded soon. I'm sending here the channel, YouTube channel link, and you can see it here in the chat box. This is our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe and follow it for upcoming opportunities that may be quite helpful to you and your colleagues. Here is the link for the YouTube channel. And yes, so still, if some of the participants were not able to send their video PPTs, they can share it through this contact, this email. I'm sharing it here again in the chat box. And this is also the main contact for submitting your manuscript or asking other questions related to manuscript. You can note this, this email. Yeah, this is our main email for contact. And I will mention it here that all the abstracts, including the uploaded PPTs to the YouTube channel and all the live presentations on Zoom will be reviewed and being reviewed by independent reviewers, and the results for the award winners in the form of certificates will be sent to the email to the winner's email, and along with the proceedings and the certificates. Yeah, so you can check your email after the session to receive all the documents. And here I'm sharing our WhatsApp number in the chat box. That's quite important, I think, if you want to note it here in the chat box. You can add this WhatsApp number for upcoming queries, questions related to your manuscript, certificate, or other things. So this is quite important number. You can add through WhatsApp. This is a WhatsApp number. It's quite a good application nowadays, used by a lot of people for communication. So this is the WhatsApp number. You can see it here in the chat box, and add it here. I will add you to the groups. We can keep also in touch regarding your manuscript submission and other things. Yeah. So this is the WhatsApp number. What other can I do? So I think that's all. If there is no more question, we can wind it up. And yeah. Okay. Two more raise hands. Okay, 5052. Please, you can ask what you want to ask.
Yeah, just quick questions. You just share the WhatsApp number, right?
Yeah.
Plus 06011137. I just want to make sure what is the difference between the another WhatsApp number, which is +91. I forgot, like, which +91 70085222861.
That's also our number. This is also our number, and this number is especially for the conference-related queries, questions.
Okay, so this one is specialized for the publication.
Yeah, for the publication and conference.
Okay. Thank you.
Like it is for the participants for the successfully conducted conference, such as this one. And after the conference, we give it to the participants if they have any more questions they want to ask, or if they want to submit their manuscript to the journals or any other things. We give this number to them, and then we add them to the related groups, and we follow the participant questions after the session. Yeah, so this is number +601137 963849. Yeah. So I hope that all the questions are done, and the questions later will be handled by our team through this WhatsApp number or through this email contact I provided here in the chat box. Yeah. Okay, so let me finish it, and at the end, Professor Mike, if you want to say something, then we can finish it. Maybe he's not available now. So, okay. Thank you so much once again for joining this conference, and I hope to see you in other events as well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.